Wendy Williams was one of a few who actually called out Sean Diddy Combs in his heyday, and her career suffered because of it. But now with everything we're learning about the disgraced mogul, turns out she was right. Now she's breaking her silence. Welcome to Diddygate coverage here on Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore, and I've been curious to hear from Wendy Williams, hoping she might chime in, given that she was one of the very few who was speaking out about the mogul way back in the day. Now, before we get to her comments, I want to go back and sort of remind everybody about their history. They had a lot of run-ins, most notably in 1998, when the mogul allegedly got the then radio show host fired from her Hot 97 gig, at least according to protege Charlemagne the God, who mentioned it during a appearance on the Flagrant podcast. Here's that clip.
I didn't think I was going to ever see a video like this.
I heard abuse whispers. So
Really?
I was thinking, yeah.
I heard gay. I'd never heard porn.
I always heard gay.
Gay nonstop. And that was enough. People were like,
That's because of Wendy Williams.
What'd you say?
Oh, that was Wendy. Wendy's whole thing was Diddy was gay since the 90s.
She knew, dog.
No, Wendy was
We
throwing
owe
that
Wendy
out
an
there.
apology.
That's why Wendy got fired from Hot 97. Wendy got fired from Hot 97 by Diddy because that's when Bad Boy was smoking hot.
Wow.
And yeah, she got fired for putting that out there. Like,
Do you think that Diddy held on to the gay rumors so that people didn't know what he really was?
Yeah.
ooh.
Because that's the perfect smokescreen. You'd rather people think you're gay than be.
Wait, here's the wild thing. We still don't know what Diddy is.
I mean, we
That's
know
the thing.
little.
We know little. We know bits and pieces.
Yeah.
This shit might be deeper than rap. We don't know. Like this
The
might be a
rabbit hole's
whole
gonna get
rabbit hole.
crazy.
You might be like, oh shit.
Well, turns out it is. Now, who knew how deep the rabbit hole goes? That's the current question. But the rumors about Diddy have been going on for a long while. And yes, Charlemagne wasn't the only one calling this out. Former bodyguard Gene Deal alluded to this as well in an interview with Art of Dialogue. You started the conversation earlier about what did I mean about the power of Puff had with the radio stations in New York. Mother effers didn't breathe hard if Puff didn't want them to. Puff got one of the hottest DJs off Hot 97 because she wanted to put up a picture of him getting his pants pulled down. Puff told a Hot 97 if they didn't get rid of her before he got back in New York, that they was not going to get any of his music from any of his friends and any of his record label executives that were cool with him. Everyone was going to boycott their station. We was out in LA for about 3 days before we landed back in New York. Wendy Williams and the radio station in Philly, it was over for her. She was fired. So you got to understand that's the history here as we're going back to sort of understand why we're curious about hearing from Wendy Williams. Now here she is breaking her silence about Diddy, saying, "It's about time." Getting the quote here, what's really weird is I've been told by so many people, "Wendy, you called it," she told the Daily Mail exclusively, including some people from my family who have said the same. Popular host said she was doing good in the wake of her aphasia diagnosis and her health concerns. That's good to hear. She was horrified at the video of Combs with Cassie in the hotel lobby. As she says, you know how I feel about that. It's about time to see this video on TV of Cassie getting, it was just horrific. But now you have to think how many more times, how many more people, how many more women. It's just so horrible. So again, really nice to see her out there getting justice, if you will. She called this out. She was sort of criticizing him, saying it wasn't really out there. And now it turns out she was merely at the tip of the iceberg. There was a lot more. Now there's another clip that's gone viral featuring Wendy Williams. I don't know how I feel, but a lot of people saw it as her being shaken as almost a threat by Diddy. And now with everything we're learning, yeah, I could see a little bit of where they're coming from. Here's the clip in question.
As the mother of a now 16-year-old.
Mm-hmm. Who I met backstage,
He did?
he's a great young man.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
You represent a lot.
Now, look, at first I'm like, well, yeah, she's just like, oh, thanks for being nice and saying something nice about my kid. But the more we learn about Diddy now, 25 minors, Justin Bieber, Usher, I could see why some people are seeing the way that she stutters, the way that she pauses. Now, granted, she had issues throughout the show. We know that, but still there is a little bit of a, oh, you're bringing my son into it. You're talking about how nice he is. Great. As commenters are calling out, that was a threat. Let's watch it again. What do you think of that?
As the mother of a now 16-year-old.
Mm-hmm. Who I met backstage,
He did?
he's a great young man.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
That laugh right there. It's like, oh God, don't go anywhere near my kid. Don't touch my kid, dude.
you represent a lot.
He
As
sure
the
does
mother
represent a
of
lot. And now at the time there was some good. He was trying to, it seemed to do good. There is a little bit about that. But at the same time, now after everything we're learning, this is not a good look. What do you think? I want to hear your comments down below. Do you find that as a threat? Some of the commenters said, a lot of people were in there reporting on it. Some of the reactions, that was a threat. He's saying play nice. Another said, the way that she hesitated, you know that she knew about him. It looks like her mind is quickly flipping through all the different horrifying things that could have happened backstage. The way she wanted to say, you stay away from my son. Another said, I can hear her internally screaming. Again, again, we got no proof of that. I got no proof of that, but with everything we're learning, yeah, it does seem like there could be a little bit of that. Now, Wendy Williams aired her final episode in June 2022, after 13 years, without Williams herself making an appearance. Previously withdrew from the show in 2021. Embarked when was initially supposed to be a temporary leave of absence to cope with her health issues. Some fans have claimed that Williams has still been on the air. She been on the air, she would have highlighted the fact that she warned of his alleged behavior a while ago. And yeah, as we saw that clip, it does look a little bit like a threat. I'm not gonna lie, but interesting to see her finally be able to come forward, break her silence, and admit that it's about time. Look. Should we be outing people? Is that really anybody's business? Typically, I would, of course, say no, it's not anybody's business. But the way Diddy then, wanted to sort of use that as no, that's not true. When we're learning Diddy, it's clearly true. You were clearly going both ways, if anything. And she was onto something. Now, some people criticized her, saying, how dare you? It's nobody's business which way he goes. But I suspect she was she was just starting to figure it all out and realizing that this man wasn't being honest. That's how I take all this. This man likes to be in control, likes to control the narrative. And the fact that he was able to threaten her off the air, get her fired, it's again, shows his controlling, ABUSE. Sorry, I gotta keep spelling things. Guys, I'm happy to announce we are prepping an uncensored show. It's going to be on our members portion here, our members portion on Patreon. There's so much I want to be able to say that I can't. There's speculation and things coming in, theories that I want to talk about that I feel like don't really fit here on this platform. So please, if you haven't already, consider joining. In fact, I don't know if you can join here. More importantly, you can join over on Patreon because they take less revenue. There's a lot I want to say about this topic and so many more as we're getting into the Diddy stuff without the censoring. So it's coming. Stay tuned. I hope we'll have some more information for you tomorrow during our live here. We're still going to be live here Tuesdays and Thursdays, but I'm adding a new show where we can actually then talk uncensored with you guys and really get you guys more involved in the conversation, not keep worrying about what I'm saying. I apologize we have to do it here, but this is the way we got to do it in order to get the voice heard and get the word out. So stay tuned. But yes, I think this is yet again an example of his controlling nature, the way that we've seen, and now with over 120 allegations coming in, I don't doubt any of this. And it's good to hear Wendy get her justice, if you will. She was right. She was one of the few who was standing up against him and calling him out, and I applaud her for it. What do you guys think? I want to hear your thoughts. Make sure you hit that subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell for all alerts. That's the most important. When you get those alerts, come and smash the thumbs up like I just showed you, and leave a comment down below. It helps the algorithm a bunch. Some important stories coming out. Let's keep the voices heard. Let's keep this going loud. We got a lot more coming for you, so don't miss out here on Popcorn Planet.